One, two, three, funk it.
What is land use? Land use is the characterization of land based on what can be built on it and what the land can be used for. It's determining what sort of community, environment, or settlement can be used on a specific type of land. One definition of land use is the total arrangement, activities, input that people undertake in a certain area or cover type. It's important to note that land use and zoning are not the same. When land use is the way that people adapt the land to suit their needs, zoning is how the government regulates the land. Why is land use important? Understanding land use has many benefits, but there are two that directly affect a land buyer. First, it helps prevent a costly and time-consuming misunderstanding when it comes to what can be built and where. For example, it prevents someone from buying a property designated as residential with plans of building a farm. Knowing the purpose of land allows the buyer to find the land that will work the best for what he or she is planning. On a larger scale, understanding land use helps to understand patterns that are associated with land and urbanization. Understanding how land was used in the past can be a significant indicator of how the properties will be used in the future. It is safe to assume that humans will always rely on crops and livestock as their food sources, which highlights the importance of land designated for agricultural use in the community. Types of land uses. There are many different categories when it comes to land use. The five most common uses are recreational, transport, agricultural, residential, and commercial. Understanding the specifics for each one can help when planning on investing in property. 1. Recreational. When a property's land use is defined as recreational, it only means that it is meant to be used for enjoyment of the people. This could be anything from parks and open spaces to athletic fields, playground, and swimming pools. Cities add recreational land into their blueprints to ensure the area has places for people to go and enjoy. Second, transport. Transport land is designed for the structures that help people get from one destination to the other. Transport land includes things like roads, airports, train stations, and subway stations. Third, agricultural. Agricultural land is used for the growing and harvesting of crops and livestock. These are things like ranches, farms, and pastures. 4. Residential. The purpose of residential land is to build homes. This could mean mobile home, single-family homes, or even apartment complexes. Depending on the local area, the status of the market, and the type of residences planned on a building, we need to consider things such as accessibility to property, the proximity to local amenities, local school, crime rate. There are some restrictions associated with this type of land use. 5. Commercial. This type of land is designated for businesses, warehouses, shops, and any other infrastructure related to commerce. This type of land is commonly used for office buildings, restaurants, shops, and other businesses. And while other commercial lands usually doesn't take up much space, it's critical to the economy of a community. Introduction to natural resources. A natural resource may be defined as any material given to us by nature, which can be transformed in a way that it becomes more valuable and useful. For example, wood is used for making furniture. Yarn obtained from cotton is used for weaving cloth. Likewise, various machine, tools, and households are made of metals. Now, furniture, clothes, machine, tools are more valuable than their raw form. It is impossible to obtain valuable materials from any resources. Thus, water, minerals, forest, wildlife, as well as human beings are resources. Any materials may be called as a resource, provided an appropriate technology is available to transform that into more valuable goods. Natural resources are materials created in nature that are used and usable by humans. They include natural substances, example, soil and water, and energy supplies, example, coal and gas, that serve to satisfy human needs and wants. Natural resources are a component of the environmental setting. The environmental setting embraces the totality of materials, features, and processes. This environmental setting gives the region of the world their own, quite specific and distinctive setting with different options concerning the transmutations of material and energy. The material features and processes which are usable constitute the potential of the landscape. By utilizing parts of this material, humans give them a new function, a new purpose, giving them a source of substance into natural resource. As Zimmerman phrased, resources are not, they become. Moreover, natural resources can be classified into various ways. A commonly used is a classification of natural resources according to their exhaustibility and regenerative power. Non-renewable resources are differentiated from renewable resources. Renewable and non-renewable resources. On the basis of continuity, the resources are classified as under 1. Renewable resources. 2. Non-renewable resources. Renewable resources. Resources which can be renewed along with their exploitation are always available for use. Hence, they are called renewable resources. Renewable resources include biomass energy, such as ethanol, hydropower, geothermal power, wind energy, and solar energy. Biomass refers to organic material from plants or animals. This includes wood, sewage, and ethanol. Biomass can be used as source of energy because this organic material has absorbed energy from the sun. This energy is in turn released as heat energy when burned. Hydropower is one of the oldest renewable resources and has been used for thousands of years. Today, every US state uses some amount of hydroelectricity. With hydropower, the mechanical energy from flowing water is used to generate electricity. Hydroelectric power plant use the flow of rivers and streams to turn a turbine to power a generator, releasing electricity. Geothermal energy comes from the heat generated deep within the Earth's core. Geothermal reservoir can be found at tectonic plate boundaries near volcanic activity or deep underground. Geothermal energy can be harnessed by drilling wells to pump hot water or steam to a power plant. This energy is then used for heating and electricity. Wind energy generates electricity by turning wind turbines. The wind pushes the turbine's blade, and a generator converts this mechanical energy into electricity. This electricity can supply power to homes and other buildings, and it can even be stored in the power grid. Radiation from the sun can be used as a power source as well. Photovoltaic cells can be used to convert this solar energy into electricity. Individually, these cells only generate enough energy to power a calculator. But when combined to create solar panels or even larger arrays, they provide much more electricity. Searching for the right method of using renewable energy is a task that is growing ever more important as the Earth's supply of non-renewable resources continue to dwindle. Converting to renewable energy will not only better sustain the world's rapidly growing population, but it will also provide a cleaner, healthier, and environmental friendly generations to come. Non-renewable resources. The formation of some resources like iron ore, coal, minerals, oil has taken several thousand years. Once they are used in unlimited ways, they cannot be easily replaced. Thus, their exploitation at large scale will result in their fast depletion. Some such resources are called non-renewable resources or exhaustible. There are four major types of non-renewable resources, namely oil, natural gas, coal, and nuclear energy. Oil, natural gas, and coal are collectively called as fossil fuels. Fossil fuels were formed within Earth from dead plants and animals over millions of years. Hence, the name fossil fuels. They are found in an underground layer of rocks and sediments. Pressure and heat work together to transform the plants and animals' remains into crude oil, also known as petroleum and natural gas. Crude oil is a liquid fossil fuel that is used mostly to produce gasoline and diesel fuel for vehicles and for manufacturing plastics. It is found in rocks below Earth's surface and it's pumped out through wells. Natural gas is widely used for cooking and for heating homes. It consists mostly of methane and is found near oil deposits below Earth's surface. Natural gas can be pumped out through the same wells used for extracting crude oils. Unfortunately, human society is for the time being dependent on non-renewable resources as its primary source of energy. Approximately 80% of the total amount of energy used globally each year comes from fossil fuel. Humans depend on fossil fuels because they are energy rich and relatively cheap to process. But a major problem with fossil fuels, aside from there being unlimited resources, is that burning them releases carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Rising levels of heat trapping carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is the main cause of global warming. Alternatively, energy sources such as wind and solar energy are a possible solution to the depletion of non-renewable resources. Both of these clean energy sources are available in a limited supply.
I think I'm losing my mind. Trying to stay inside the line.